This recording is an introduction to the male and female reproductive systems. The process of sexual reproduction is necessary for humans to continue the species. The female contributes a gamete, referred to as the egg, very generically, and the male contributes the gamete, referred to as the sperm. Now the sperm fertilizes the egg, and then we have what we call a zygote. Now the zygote will then develop, it'll become an embryo and a fetus, and eventually you'll have the baby that's born. And when the egg is fertilized by the egg or the sperm, we're going to have a unique combination of genetic information contributed from both parents, because in the process of meiosis, which is needed for gametogenesis or the formation of the gametes, there is a process called crossing over, so you can have actually a unique combination of DNA. Now the reproductive system, besides allowing us to sexually reproduce, involves other things too. But so some of the things that the male and female reproductive systems involve is, one, obviously production of the gametes. So in the males, it's sperm. Okay, so you have the sperm in the male. In the females, you know, we're going to talk about more in depth the terms for the egg. Here you see it's referred to as the ovum. Is you have those reproductive cells. Now we also have to have a means to maintain those gametes and transport them, because these are not produced right away that they're mature. We have to have a process that we're going to maintain them, allow them to mature to where they need to be, and then we need to transport them. So we have the various parts of the male and female reproductive tracts. You also, in the female, you have, and this involves the female only, if the egg is fertilized, the female has the means to allow that zygote to continue to develop into the embryo and then the fetus, and eventually ready for birth of the child. That takes place in the uterus of the female. Now what we also need is you need hormones that are produced by the males and the females, and those hormones are important in proper gametogenesis. It's also needed for the development and maintenance of the male and female reproductive tracts. So that's just generically some of what we see with the male and female reproductive systems. Now there's some differences, important differences between male and female reproduction. One of the things that's kind of different is the males will continuously produce sperm, which is the male gamete, and the fertility of males kind of peaks a little bit later than the females, but they kind of continue, and it doesn't really kind of drop off to much like greater than 75. There have been it has been found that males can father children to very, very, very late 70s years of age, even though their fertility is not quite what it should be, but they produce sperm once they hit puberty, and it's continuous. Now the females are, the eggs actually develop during fetal development, and after that they don't produce any more eggs, and so the number of the eggs actually drop off, and their fertility declines as they get older. And you notice that the fertility is ended much earlier than in the male. So once a woman hits menopause, they no longer can have any children. And females are actually referred to as having interrupted fertility, because once a month a female will ovulate an egg or a few eggs, and then if she becomes pregnant, this won't happen again until she delivers. So it kind of is interrupted by pregnancy. And as I mentioned again, actually, now I remember, is actually, it has been found that there's a record for a male who has fathered a child who was 96 years old. That's amazing. So men are fertile much longer than the females. So this is just a basic introduction into the reproductive system. Next recording is going to cover the process of gametogenesis and looking at mitosis versus meiosis. Now, gametogenesis requires meiotic divisions, and then we'll also talk about in subsequent recordings what happens in the males versus the females. In the males, it's called spermatogenesis. In the females, it's called oogenesis.